Does this happen to you when you're using the P-Law? If it does, stay tuned and I might just help out. What's up guys, it's DJ. So if you're anything like me, you pull out that P-Law launcher for the first time and you're like, what the hell is this thing? Well, in this video, I'm actually going to show you guys how to take down streaks on a very consistent basis through simple instructions, and then I'm going to help you out with some of the challenges that you may have with the P-Law launcher. So this launcher is very unique for two reasons. One of them being that it doesn't have a lock-on feature. You actually have to pre-aim where you want to shoot so that way you can hit your target. And not only that, but it actually takes 2 shots to destroy either UAV or counter UAV. So it makes it a difficult launcher to use. But I did find a way where you can basically hit these every single time as long as you maintain what I'm about to tell you. So this is what you do. When you're scoped in, you have this little L that's in the bottom left. You want to use the one on the very bottom, not the middle, and you want to line that L up to where the UAV is. You want to line it up to the center. This also works for counter UAV, by the way. You want to line it up to the center, and you want to also have the little cross that you see in the middle, which is where the actual energy shot is going to go. You want that to be lined up with the path that the UAV or the counter UAV is taking. So when you have these two lined up, you're pre-aiming perfectly for the energy bullet to hit. So as long as you follow those instructions, 9 times out of 10, you're actually going to go ahead and take down the UAVs and counter UAVs. And it's very consistent, and you can do it pretty quick. But this also begs the question, are UAVs and counter UAVs the only thing you should shoot with the launcher? And I went ahead and I tested this. I went ahead and tested all the other score streaks you might want to go ahead and use it on. And it can be difficult for some of them because you lock on. The first thing I tested was the Vulture. And it actually takes down the Vulture in 1 shot, but you do have to pre-aim because that thing does move around a lot. Shock Sentry is the next thing I tested. You don't spawn in with enough bullets to take it out. You basically got to shoot in 3 bullets, find a way to die, and then once you die, it takes another bullet. And I even tested Man-at-Arms to see if Man-at-Arms will give you more ammo upon spawning with the P-Law, and it sadly doesn't. So you're just going to have to stick with it. Shock Sentry takes 4 bullets. Next is the Warden. Now the Warden is something that I actually would advise to use the P-Law on. Since it's such a big target, you could just hit fire, spray at it, and it takes 5 shots to kill the Warden. So with a Warden up, most likely you'll die, so you can just pop off those shots, get rid of it really quickly, and you get a free score streak for your P-Law. So after the Warden comes the Advanced UAV. Ugh, Advanced UAV, I have so many things to say about it. But for the P-Law, do not, and I repeat, do not use the P-Law on the Advanced UAV. I put 6 shots into it and it still didn't take it out. And even by the time that I respawned in for the 3rd time, the Advanced UAV was already gone. So it's not really worth it. You can use the same tactic for UAVs and counter UAVs if you want to shoot it down. But just don't even try. Unless they buff it and increase the time or something, it's just not worth it. After that, you have the Thor. Now with the Thor, it's actually pretty viable. It takes 5 shots, use the same tactic, or line up those L's and you can take it out. Now, this can be inconsistent for the Thor just because the Thor does have thrusters, like I mentioned in my score streak guide. If you haven't watched that, I do recommend to go watch that. So if they do use thrusters, you'll most likely miss them. But if they stay at a current pace, you can actually use the P-Law to take it down. So after the Thor, you actually have the RC-8. Now, if the RC-8, it actually does take 6 shots to take the RC-8 out. And I would imagine this would be extremely difficult to do in multiplayer, just because usually people will control the RC-8 and they'll shoot you before you can even get your shot off. So would I recommend using the P-Law for the RC-8? No. After the RC-8 is the AP3X, and the AP3X is also something I wouldn't recommend going for. That thing flies around way too quick. It would be way too hard to actually try to take it out with it moving around, and not only that, but it actually takes 6 shots to take down. So I also wouldn't recommend using the P-Law for the AP3X. Okay, so we went ahead and talked about the score streaks you might want to use this on. Next thing I want to talk about are actually some of the challenges that you need to unlock camos for the P-Law, because I see that people are finding them difficult, and I want to help you guys out with that. So one of the harder challenges is to destroy 2 score streaks back to back, and I actually found 2 ways to do this. And the first way I found was actually found on accident in a game. Since the P-Law actually has splash damage, what happens is if you shoot 2 UAVs or 2 counter UAVs that are close to each other, that splash damage will also hurt the second UAV. So if you see 2 of them clumped up next to each other, take that P-Lot out as fast as you can, and you'll be able to get the double real quick and right there. But that's not as common, so the second way to actually do it is the more consistent way. So if there are 2 UAVs or 2 counter UAVs, put a single shot into each of them, spawn back in, and put another single shot into each of them, and you'll get your double score streak kill. So another hard challenge that they actually gave for the P-Law is to destroy score streaks without scoping in. And the hipfire reticle actually has a different tactic than the reticle that you have when you're scoped in. So what you're going to do this time is you're going to still have that L, but you're going to line it up to the very end of the score streak. And then just like last time, you're going to have that center reticle, the center dot, line up with the path that the score streak is taking, and you'll be pre-aimed perfectly, and you'll destroy the score streak. So the other challenges for the P-Law aren't too difficult, so I'm not going to cover those in the video. It's actually really easy to kill people with the P-Law. So the next thing and the last thing I want to talk about is actually the class setup. So you're going to use whatever primary you want. You're going to have the P-Law, of course. And then I would recommend running Dexterity, Blind Eye, and Engineer. Now the reason I say this is because for Dexterity, you want to switch to your P-Law faster. For Blind Eye, you may be asking, well, why aren't you running Ghost? That's because with the P-Law and with Engineer, you're going to be shooting down those UAVs, and there really isn't a point of having Ghost if there aren't UAVs in the air. Not only that, but I would much rather have Blind Eye for those situations where the wardens come up, so I can shoot those down without having to worry about it. And it's just a better perk for doing the P-Law challenges. And last but not least, Engineer. Engineer is really, really good. A lot of people are going to be competing to take out streaks because everyone's going to be wanting to do their launcher camos. So being able to find them first and find them quick is essential to getting those streaks down as quickly as possible. Plus, it just makes life so much easier. Alright guys, so that's really all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this helps you out. And until next time guys, have a good one.